Hi everyone, welcome to another yoga class. Today we're gonna have a quick spine session. So we're gonna work on our lower back and also a little bit of our upper back. So I think let's just get started. I wanna have about hip width apart with my legs. And then I'm just gonna start slowly stretching a little bit. So on the in-breath, I'm gonna take my arms up. And then on the out-breath, I'm just gonna take them down. And again, on the in-breath, I go up. And on the out-breath, I come down. And I'm just doing this a few more times with my own breath. And then when I'm up, I'm seeing if I can stretch as far as I can up. And then on the way down, I just relax my arms. And one more. And coming back down again. On my next in-breath, I'm gonna stay at the top. So I'm taking my arms up. I'm putting my hands together and I'm slowly just doing a little bit of a back bend. I'm just gonna turn so you guys can see me. And I'm just slowly bending into my lower back. Doesn't have to be a big bend. And looking back as I breathe. And then I slowly come back down again with my arms. From here again, I'm gonna breathe in, my arms come up. I do a slow back bend. And then I just let my arms fall down as I continue all the way down. Putting my hands onto the ground. I can have a little bit of a bend in my knees. And then I'm just slowly rocking a little bit back and forth here. Since we're just warming up the body. And then when I'm ready, I take my hands and I put them on my shins. And from here, I'm gonna take an in-breath and I'm gonna stretch my back looking forward. So if I can be on my chins, if that's too much, I can also have my hands on my thighs. But what I want to do is try and stretch all of my back, almost a little bit so I'm swaying upwards. And then I'm gonna relax. Just hanging over my legs. And then one more time, placing my hands on my shins. And then I'm stretching, looking forward. And I'm coming all the way down. When I'm down, I'm just gonna wrap my arms around each other. So I'm just either holding my elbows or just like interlacing my hands. I'm gonna drop my neck and I'm just gonna sway from side to side. And some swaying from side to side just to get a little bit in to that lower back. And then I'm gonna see if I can make my circles a little bit bigger. My hips and my feet are still planted in the ground, but I'm seeing if I can switch my arms all the way to one side and then all the way to the other side. And my elbows are almost what's leading me. So I'm pointing this elbow to one side. I'm pointing this elbow to the other side. And then when I'm ready, I land in the front. I let go of my arms. And from here, I'm just gonna place my arms into the mat. So I'm placing my hands into the mat and I'm just gonna slowly walk my legs a little bit backwards till I get into a downward facing dog. So from here, I'm almost in an upside down V. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll my shoulders back. So I'm rolling my shoulders back into my upper back. And I'm really using my hands to push away. If I need to have a little bit of a bend in my legs, that's okay. And then I'm just gonna see if I can breathe here. And the more I lean my upper body and my chest down towards the mat, the more I'm getting a stretch into those shoulder blades. And then since we're still warming up, when I'm ready, I'm just going to put my knees into the mat. Maybe I need a little bit more width between my knees, so I'm opening them up a little bit. And then I'm just going to come down into child's pose. I'm just lying my head down on the mat. And I'm just taking a few breaths. And I'm seeing if I can really drop my hips into my heels. And if my butt doesn't properly touch my heels, maybe I walk with my arms just a little bit backwards so that I put all of my weight towards the back of my body. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to come back up to my knees again. And I'm just going to tuck my toes, coming back in to a downward facing dog. Now from here, I'm just going to walk my heels out a little bit. So I'm walking one foot and the other foot, just to get into those hamstrings a little bit. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to place my left foot a little bit more in the middle. So I'm pulling it in towards the center. And then I'm going to lift my left foot off. And when I'm lifting off my left foot, what I want to do is I want to bend it. So I'm bending my heel towards my butt. And then I'm really seeing if that knee can come up towards the ceiling. So this is a little bit of a lower back twist, where I'm seeing how much can I lift that knee up towards the roof. And then I remember to breathe, seeing if I can have equal weight in both of my hands. And then when I'm ready, I come back down with that leg. And I simply just shift position with the other foot. So my right leg comes in the middle. My left leg comes off. And I'm bending my heel in towards my butt. And seeing if I can reach that knee up towards the sky. Or at least it's the sky for me since I'm outside. And I breathe. And I do one more breath. And I come back down again with that leg. And then I put both of my knees into the ground for a little bit of a rest, because that can be a quite challenging position. From here, we're just going to go through some cat-cows. So making sure that I have about hip width apart in my knees. And I have a neutral back, so on my in-breath, I'm going to sway. And I'm going to look all the way up. And then on my out-breath, I'm going to curl my back, push through my shoulder blades. And then I'm going to sway again, and I just follow my own breath. Going back and forth between swaying and curling. And then I'm going to come back again into a neutral back. Now from here, I want to take my left foot and I'm just going to my right foot, and I'm just going to step it in to a low lunge. So I'm stepping it in here. Now from here, I want to lift off on to my back leg, so my left leg, but I still have my hand on the inside of my leg. Now from here, maybe I want to stay here, What I want to do is I want to lift off, and I'm putting my elbow on my knee. So my elbow goes on my knee, and if this is enough, then I just twist my chest and I look towards the sky. If I want to, I can add my arm, stretching that arm over, coming all the way over, reaching towards the opposite side of the room. Now I don't want to just collapse here. I want to have a pretty straight body, and seeing if my chest can really turn up towards the roof. So this is a bit of a side stretch, and the more I push my hips forward, the more I'm going to feel it into that front hip and into my lower back. And I'm going to breathe. And I said this was a spine session, so from here I'm going to drop this arm down, and I'm going to turn on the foot that's on the back. I'm turning a little bit on it, and then I'm just going to reach the other arm up towards the ceiling. So a little bit of a twist again in the spine. Spine work is a lot of twists because I really get into all parts. When I do a twist, I twist the upper back and the lower back, so that I'm really trying to create some space into my spine. Good, and then when I'm ready, I'm just coming down again with that arm, and I'm just gonna put both of my arms into the mat, pulling my leg backwards, and I'm slowly, just even in a plank or with my knees on the ground, I'm just going to lower myself down onto the mat. Alright, so I'm down on the mat. I want to put my hands next to my chest. And then from here I get to choose if I just want to lift off a little bit or if I want to go the full way. And I stretch my hands into an upward facing dog. If this is too much on my lower back and again on my spine, I just come down to my elbows and I can stay here if this feels enough. And then I relax, and I breathe. And then when I'm ready, I come all the way down to my mat again. From here, I want to grab both of my, the tops of my feet. So I'm grabbing both of them. If this is enough, then you can just stay here and work on actually getting a good grip on your feet. If you want a little bit more, then you can push your feet into your hands. And I'm lifting up into what's a bow pose. And the more I push with my feet into my hands, and I'm really pulling my shoulder blades back, I'm doing a little bit of a back bend on my spine here. And this is a pretty heavy position, so I breathe. And then I relax, come back down. I put my head on the mat for a little bit. Have a little bit of a break. And then we're gonna do that one more time. So when I'm ready, I'm gonna push into my arms, pulling my shoulder blades back, seeing if I can make as much of a circle as possible with my legs and my arms, and I breathe. And one more breath. And I come back down again. Relax, let go of my feet. Put my arms next to my chest and just breathe. And then when I'm ready, my arms comes close to my chest again. I'm gonna push myself up into all fours and the neutral spine. We still have to do the other side of the spine. So last time we pulled our right leg forward, so this time I'm pulling my left leg forward into a low lunge. And then on my back leg, I'm just gonna stand up on it. I get to choose if I want to stay here or if I want to come all the way up. Put my elbow on my knee. And then I turn my chest up towards the roof. Maybe this is enough to stay here. Maybe I want to add on my arm. And then I'm really twisting my chest and I'm pushing my hips a bit forward while I reach to the front of the room with that arm. And then I'm gonna do one more breath. And then just coming down with that arm, rolling over my toes a little bit, so maybe changing my position on my feet if I need to. And then I'm just reaching up on the opposite side. Little bit of a twist. And then I remember to breathe and smile. And one more breath. And the arm comes down. I'm coming back down onto my knees, pulling that left leg backwards. And then from here, I just lower myself down onto the ground again. From here, as we just did, I'm placing my arms next to my chest. And I'm gonna, again, push myself up into an upward facing dog. But we're not gonna stay here. So while I'm here, I'm going to take my right hand and I'm gonna loop it through my left and I'm gonna lay down on that shoulder. So I'm lying down on my right shoulder. And then from here, I'm just gonna lean over to my side. And when I'm leaning over, that top leg, that top knee comes into my chest. So that I'm automatically in a twist. So I twist my chest open. My top arm goes towards the back. And I'm in a very nice spinal twist. And I breathe. And then when I'm ready, I'm gonna come back onto my stomach. Gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. So I'm just pulling my arm back. If I'm down, I'm pushing myself up. And then from here, I'm lifting off my left hand. That comes through and I roll over to my side. When I rolled over to my side, I pull my right knee into my chest and my other arm opens up into a twist. And if I want to, just as a finishing exercise, I can think about every time that I breathe, I try and send my breath all the way down into my lower back, letting it go through my entire spine when I do an in-breath, all the way down to my lower back, and then release as I exhale. And then when I'm ready, I'm just going to roll all of my body onto my back. So I'm just rolling all the way to the back. Just doing Shavasana for a very short minute or two. So I'm just stretching my legs, stretching my arms out to the side, relaxing my entire body, letting it sink down toward the ground. And I'm just taking a few breaths here. And then I'm gonna take one big inhale and a big exhale. And whichever way you want, come up to seated. Or if you want to stay in Shavasana, you can. And that's it for today's spinal class. Hope you found some relief in your spine, in your lower back or upper back. And so happy you wanted to join, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!